Today's show is sponsored by Squarespace, the #1 online website platform to help you turn that side hustle into a reality. Today I'm going to show off the perfect 3-watch holiday collection. Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. So yes, I've just got back from a beautiful holiday in the fabulous island of Crete. We stayed at a hotel called the Royal Senses, and it's about 10-15 miles away from Rethymnon. A little bit different from the holiday I did a couple of weeks ago, which was camping in Cornwall, which even though was nice, there was no way it was going to compare to Blue Sky
with an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Now, different from the camping experience holiday we had, where I only took one watch with me, and I really did enjoy that cathartic feeling. With this 7-day trip away on a plane, I wanted a bit more choice with the watches I was going to take, and for that I've always got a foolproof collection plan. One, a Beta swim watch, a watch I don't care whether it gets beaten by sand, sea or chlorine, or put in the mouth of my toddler. Secondly, as we're going to a beautiful sunny place, I wanted a dive watch that could potentially go in the water if I wanted to, but I wanted it to be colourful, because I want that sun to really pop the colour off my wrist. And thirdly, as it's a different time zone to my country, well, this is the time we bring a GMT. Plus, I wanted this GMT to be my dressy watch. Still capable, but a watch I would use for the evening meal, you know? Now, a few other things. We were very fortunate to have a hotel villa with our own pool. And for that, I needed 2 things. One, our own inflatable, something we could relax on and just bob about the water. Well, in the hotel shop, there was an extensive range to pick up any inflatable you could imagine. What did I pick? Yes, the most least practical, oversized inflatable you could get, a turtle. But I tell you what, people, we didn't half bond. Not what the wife was expecting, as the shop did offer to inflate it for me, but me and the kids loved it. And it's not often you get a hotel villa with your own pool. Whenever I've seen this on Amazon, I've always wanted to try it. And that was a floating basketball net. Yes, maybe I did have to sacrifice a few pants, socks and toiletries in order to pack this thing, but the amount of fun I had, and the kids, but mostly me, was priceless. And as I did some aggressive attacking b-ball moves, let's come on to our first watch. We know it had to be a G-Shock, something that could take a beating, something that was water resistant, something that didn't cost a lot of money. Well, fortunately for me, it didn't cost anything, because this GA2100 Jellyfish was given to me by G-Shock when I attended a Central Sea event in London. Anyway, I had been wearing this watch a lot, and I always saw it as the perfect summer G-Shock. I've always wanted to try a Jellyfish G-Shock. I'm not a huge fan of the Casio because legibility, especially on the digital display, is pants. However, this was awesome. Now, in the comments when I talked about this watch before, people have complained about the fact that the see-through colour would slowly go a little bit yellowy. Mine certainly has done a little bit. It has taken an absolute beating, because not only was I playing in our pool, but this hotel had their own aqua park
with some rather scary slides.
Still told the time fantastically. I could rely on this watch in whatever environment I was going to be in. This watch looked good with a tan, even a tennis coach's tan. The only other thing I would say, as the shroud over top is see-through, you can see water wedged in between the black resin case and the Jellyfish shroud. Over time, this must get a bit moldy in there. However, for my swim Beta watch, this was fabulous. Now, before I show you the second watch, let me tell you about today's sponsor, who are Squarespace. If you have an idea, a hobby or a side hustle you want to take to the next level, well, you need a darn good website. And there is no better company out there right now to give you that than Squarespace. With hundreds of templates to choose from that you can customize to your heart's content, change fonts, and really elevate the ideas you already have. And if you click in the link below, you will find a discount to your first purchase. And listen, if you want to stop that 9 to 5 and turn that side hustle into a proper business, a professional website made by Squarespace is going to help bring that dream come true. Okay, so the second watch, well, I wanted a diver. It's my favorite type of watch, but I wanted one with color. And not only did I want this watch to be capable of going in the sea, being exposed to all sorts of temperatures, I wanted it to pop off my wrist. And this was the watch I was going to wear for the morning, breakfast time. Well, fortunately enough for me, Don at Vertex let me keep hold of and take the M60 Aqualine limited edition Taormina. There are only 50 of these watches around, and what this watch does so well is the blue colour is phenomenal. It's quite subdued in darker lights, but when you get this puppy in the sun, the blue just absolutely smashes at you like a 10-ton truck. This puppy is ISO rated to 600 meters of water resistance, and some might even argue it's more capable than the G-Shock in terms of its shock resistance with that beautiful Sellita SW300-1 inside. But I think Don and the team absolutely smashed the colour of this watch. It definitely turned a few heads at breakfast time. I kept it on their FKM rubber strap. Does give it a more sporty look. Obviously, I couldn't beat it that much because it's not mine yet. But another reason why I wanted to take this watch was for its lume. There aren't many watches that can compete with the blocks of superluminova Vertex use for their indices and numerals. We were going to be sleeping with the 2-year-old in a cot next to our bed. Everything needed to be pitch black from the moment he went to sleep. So having this watch by the side of my bed, well, I could see the time without turning my head. It was that bright. It's an absolutely phenomenal watch. I think Vertex have about 6 left, but if you haven't looked at Vertex as a company yet, do it right now. They're one of my favorite brands out there. The third and final watch. Well, listen, we were abroad. We had a different time zone. There's not many times I can actually use a GMT watch, and I've got a few of them, like my Seiko Navigator timer, and I've got my Christopher Ward Sealander 63 GMT with the Dragonfly blue dial. But listen, I didn't want to take the Vertex's thunder away. This one was going to be more versatile, so I thought it was about time I took out the Vulcain Skin Diver GMT. 38.3 millimeters of vintage loveliness. For me, Vulcain can't do much wrong. They take inspiration from the 50s and 60s of their own watches and make a modern package that is very hard to be beaten. And to be fair, it's still not really very well known around the watch community. Vulcain are known for their cricket. In the 50s, they developed a mechanical alarm watch, but this is a slight take on their Skin Diver watch from the 50s. This watch has a Swiss Soprod C125 GMT automatic movement. It's 200 meters of water resistance and is only 12.2 millimeters thick. I wanted to really try this bracelet. I don't think there are many brands out there that has bracelets like this. It definitely reminds me of the Breitling Sean Connery uses in James Bond. It's so 50s, 60s, it's fantastic. Obviously with the regular hour hand, I set it to local time. Yes, I could finally use the GMT properly. This was my evening watch. The watch that saw all the sunsets, and believe me, they were beautiful, people. This was a watch that's understated. And in the complex that we were in, there were hundreds and hundreds of men all wearing Rolex, from sea dwellers to date justs. I was probably the only one, not only on the resort, but in the island, of wearing a Vulcain. And that made me feel cool. However, I've got to say a big shout out to one gentleman who I spotted wearing an Orient Kamasu. Big respect, sir. So there we go, my perfect 3-watch collection for taking on a holiday. Now, you out there may not agree on this collection, and that's fine. However, if you use the formula of 1 swim beater, 1 colourful diver, and a GMT or anything on a bracelet, you've got the perfect collection for a 7-day holiday. Thank you so much for watching till the end. It is hugely appreciated. We now have a Patreon, so if you want to show more support, Get on there. Blooper reels. See the shows early. Behind the scenes content. And get your name credited at the end of every show like this lovely lot. But if I've got you for a few more minutes, and I hope I have, I've made some I haven't been around that often, but I've done some brilliant shows lately. And I've put a playlist up of all of them. Go on, check them out. You'll love them. Go on. I've got my Casio automatic on. Go on. You'll love it. You'll go on, click it.